We've got quite a bit of cars here, so we'll do our best to kind of juggle things along a little bit to make sure that everybody gets some good track space. So one big thing is when you're leading the group, don't go rip-roaring out of the pits. Just what I would do is I would work on basically just letting the group in front of you get a little bit of distance, and then that way you can work on your own program rather than just following another car out and behind. Because we're going to run in groups today and we don't allow passing, it's important that if you see someone coming onto the straightaway that you give them the right of way.
Okay.
Alright, so sometimes we'll need to stop. If we kind of head out into pit lane, we'll be in radio communication as well too, so we'll sometimes tell you, okay, we need to stop right now because we've got a group kind of coming down. So we'll make sure that we do that. Alright, so as we roll out of the pits, just make sure your group's with you, don't take off on them. And then when you reach here, we can start picking up the speed, although this, as you can see, is a bit of a tricky transition through the pit entry lane here. When you're following behind a group of cars, try to work your vision as if there were no cars in front of you. When you stare at the car in front of you, it's very easy to follow what that car does, and if that car happens to go off, well, guess where you're going? Straight off with them. Or if they make a mistake, you'll make the mistake as well too. Work on keeping your vision up ahead. I just try to look past, even though I'm following in behind kind of with the group of cars. I just try to look past. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is vision, so kind of where I'm looking. Yep. So I like to use my finger to point to kind of show you where I'm looking. So I'm looking off towards my exit. Here's where I want my car to be. Kind of look towards my turn in on the next corner. Once I line up and I'm on the brakes, my vision goes kind of halfway around the corner. Then I go all the way down to the apex. And I want to make sure that I bring my car right to the apex.
So you're almost looking at the next cone in front of you.
Okay.
You're always looking at the next cone.
Always, at least the next cone, sometimes further. It just depends on what's going on. Here we are coming into turn number 3. So right away my vision's going up to the tire walls there. So I'm kind of on the brakes. I want to get my car turned right in. And then what I do is I just unwind the wheel nice and early and let the car kind of run out wide. We bring you back across the track because we're not racing, so we don't need to block anybody, so this gets us away from the tree. Remember, that's your turn, so you got to do braking back here. My vision goes across over to the inside. When it's dry like this, it's okay to nibble some of the curving if you want to. And then on to the brakes here again, nice and tight, very tight corner. My vision's right out the side window. See how tight that corner is? Watch what I do with the wheel here. I just don't stop it moving. I get it right turned into the next corner. Vision's up towards the exit. Now I'm already looking down the straightaway. You'll see that the straightaway's a bit curved, so you can cheat a bit and take a bit of a straighter line towards that turn if you want to. The important thing is nice and early on the brakes, get your vision in. Get turned into the corner. My vision's looking off towards kind of 8. And then here's where I kind of ignore 8. I ignore the outside and I actually look for 9. And I just use my throttle to carry me up. Lift a little bit of throttle, get the car turned in. And then I climb back on throttle. And out onto the straightaway. Bring my car down the straightaway here a little ways. What I do is that blue quarter body, I kind of aim myself back across the track. And then again, with full tilt and full speed, even the brake marker 5. These are really set up for race cars. Even 5 and 4. I squeeze on the brakes. All the way down, my vision's right out the side. Now I'm looking towards the exit. Now I'm looking towards the entrance to the next one. Alright, vision off to the left-hand side. Now I pick up the apex. There's my apex, that's where I want to be. Nice and tight into the apex. Just let the car unwind. Does that make sense? Makes sense. Okay, now braking. I'll talk to you about braking and kind of what I want to do and what I want to see. I want to see good, consistent braking on the brakes, holding constant pressure. Get my down changes done. Now I work on easing, switch the throttle. Patience. There we go. Now I start to pick it up. Same thing here. I get back across the track. Remember, that's your turn. So I want to brake back here, easing off. This is the only place where I'll let you get off the brakes early and switch back to throttle to balance things. And then right back to brakes again. Again, second gear if you need it to be, all the way nice and tight to this side, and right back across the track. So there's no braking in this corner here, it's just accelerating. Maybe not full throttle, but accelerating through that corner there. Okay? Down the back straight, again, the big thing is early on the brakes. I want to make sure that you get early enough on the brakes. So a lot of people drive it right to 3 because they're not paying attention. We're looking at the road here, but understand that's where we need our car to go. Early on the brakes, curve, just that side, that first apex, that second apex, keep off this one a little bit, and then remember, pick up that 9, that apex all the way over there. There's my apex, I let the car come out, ease off the throttle a bit, turn it back in, and I squeeze back on throttle, and again, unwind, you've got the whole track. Yes, you can pinch it up, but again, if you unbalance that car at some speed, if you're coming like full tilt, your tires are at maximum, you run the risk of losing the back end of the car. And even with traction, it becomes difficult to try and see that. Alright, so we'll give this group a little bit of space, because here again, we're going to be working with a nice early brake zone. So we'll be on the brakes here, we'll be full brake pressure, holding on to those brakes, holding on to those brakes. My vision's kind of to the wall there, still on the brakes, still on the brakes. This gate clips me by, now I start turning, I'm easing off the brakes, now I switch the throttle, patience, patience, now I start to pick up throttle because I'm unwinding, use all the road. Watch those puddles, so as things dry up, you're going to get a lot of grip, watch those puddles. This car probably third's fine for this corner, you can kind of hold the brakes, easing off, now I switch the throttle, patience, and I want to run at this corner with a bit more speed just so that you feel what my braking is doing. I like to put kind of hand out the window. I haven't told everybody about it, so I'm not using it yet. But the instructor will be putting the hand out the window that tells the group that we're going to slow it up. And anytime you enter the pits, what we want to make sure that we do is we just drive straight, all 4 tires to the side of the white line. Slow it right down if you need to. We're already offline. Again, we're not racing here. We're not passing anybody, so there's no need to sort of do an aggressive online, moving off aggressively or anything like that. We just want to make sure that we kind of get over into the pit lane. Just make a clear indication that we're entering the pit lane. Gotcha. If you commit to the pit lane, don't dive back onto the track. Same thing. If you're on the track, don't dive into the pit lane. Just take another lap and come in, or vice versa. If you decided to go in the pits and say, oh, I've got one more lap, come into the pits, do a slow drive through the pits, exit out. It's always safer to do that than something unpredictable. Gotcha. Like I said before, if you hit anything, don't worry. Well, any cone, don't worry about it. And like I said, if your car's mobile, bring it back into here. If anything happens out there, just stay inside the car and we'll get somebody out to help you. Cool. Awesome. Have some fun. You're going to be tail end Charlie, so you'll be right behind the car you were before, and I'm going to pull out with the other 3 cars here. Thank you. Last thing I would say is when you stop like we are here,